This is my favorite event of the year. My favorite school event of the year is tonight. And that is because 4 years ago, a group of students was talking about what can we do to really support Latino students, particularly in academics. What can we do to support them? And I said, well, I know that our board of trustees really wants to do whatever we can. And they go, well, how about if we had an event or an awards event? And I said, that's great. And then they said, but no one will come. No one will come to the event at all. And look, we have almost 400 people here tonight.
Hola, buenas tardes, bienvenidos a todos. ¿Cómo están? ¿Muy bien? So I was invited here to talk about my life, just a little bit about my life. And so I guess I'll start where I was born. So nací en Durango, México. Tenemos duranguenses aquí. Mira, nací en Durango, México, en un pueblo que se llama El Vizcaíno. I came to the United States when I was about 3 years old with my mom, and we came here to Mountain View. At which point, both me and my mom also became undocumented. And that was a challenge that I've had to live with for most of my life. I'm still undocumented. That's actually a lot of the work that I do currently. Is help to support and advocate para los estudiantes indocumentados here in this country. And so, growing up here in Mountain View, there was really two things that stood out to me. The first is that we grew up really poor. And we didn't really have much growing up. In fact, I was like, we didn't have any money was probably the most common response that my mom would give me whenever I'd ask her anything, right? So, can we go here? No, we don't have any money. No tenemos dinero. Can I have this? No, we don't have any money. Mom, can I take a nap? No, no tenemos dinero. In fact, even when I first came to Mountain View, I think I came because I had to pick up like my books or registration or something. And we were driving to Mountain View and we were passing by all these houses out here. And I was like, wow, look at these really, really nice houses and all these really nice cars. And then I turned out to my mom, I was like, what city are we in? She's like, Mountain View. I was like, really? I really had no idea. And the second thing that was really present in my life as I was growing up is education. School education in my house was sacred. Like I didn't eat if I didn't do my homework. And a lot of that was because of my mom. Mi mamá fue maestra en Mexico, but I mean she only finished the 7th grade in Mexico. My dad only finished the 5th grade in Mexico. So I was actually the first person in my family to attend high school, let alone finish high school, go on to college, and then graduate from college. So school was something really, really special, and it's not that my parents ever told me you had to get straight A's or you had to do really, really well, or what. They actually never really pressured me growing up. But I saw it in my mom's face and in her voice. Like every time I would get up to go to school, she would be so happy and so excited, and I didn't know why. I'm like, you're not going, I have to go. I have to do my homework, and I have to do all these assignments, and this teacher and that teacher, but my mom was so excited that I got a chance to go every single day and just learn for like 8 hours. Like that for her was like amazing, right? Something that she never had in Mexico. And so I always grew up with a sense that education was something really, really special. Education was something that could make the difference, especially growing up poor, growing up as an immigrant, growing up undocumented. That somehow education was something really, really powerful. And those two things came together my sophomore year. My sophomore year was particularly difficult for my family. We didn't have a lot of money. We could barely keep our lights on. We could barely pay for our car at the time. We barely could afford food. I had to eat cereal without milk, and I'd be hungry most of the time. We barely had anything, and I remember at that point, I wasn't working, I was just going to school, and I remember I went over and I asked my dad, talked to my dad, and told my dad, look, I have to work. Papi, tengo que trabajar. And my dad looks at me and he gets really serious. And my dad's never serious. My dad's always happy, always smiling, always cracking a joke, even when he's worked 17, 18 hours in a day. He's got always the Holy Spirit, but he got real serious in that moment. And he looked at me and he said, if you really want to help this family, go do your homework. That was my job. School was my job. It was the only thing I could do to contribute to my family. And even though we didn't have a lot, my dad took on another job to make sure we had enough. That I had clothes, that I had food, that I had a notebook, just whatever I needed for school. And it worked out pretty well. Obviously, I'm a college graduate now. I studied political science, history and ethnic studies at Santa Clara University. I'm a very, very proud graduate of that university. But what I'm actually really grateful for, more than anything, was that at no point did either my mother or my father tell me that this was going to be easy. In fact, they told me the opposite. In fact, they told me that this was going to be really, really hard, that you might have to work 10, 20, 30 times harder than everyone else, and still, you might not get there. That's what it means to be Latino in this country, is needing to work so much harder and still not knowing whether or not you're going to get there. But through all of that, the one thing that I knew, the one thing that my family always instilled in me and gave me was that somehow I had something to give. Something. And I didn't know what that was when I was 15, 16 years old, but I had something that I could give. And so currently, what I am doing, how I am serving the community, I'm serve as the outreach manager for an organization called E4FC up in San Francisco. And for the past year and a half, I've worked for, dedicated most of my life to advocating and supporting undocumented youth all over the country. And that was my contribution. And somehow my parents knew that. So I was incredibly grateful for them. That was my gift. That was what I had to give back. And so if there's anything that I can share with all of you, any piece of advice, I'm not that much older than all of you. I just barely graduated from college. So it's not like I have all this great wisdom to bestow on you. I don't. But if there's one thing I can share, one thing I can tell you, is that you all have a gift. And I don't know what that is. Something that you do really well, something that allows you to get up, wake up every single day and keep going. Even though the odds are against you, even though people doubt you, have doubted you, will continue to doubt you, I can guarantee you that. And yet there's something that you can contribute to this world. And so if there's anything you take away from what I'm saying, if you forget everything that I just said, please just remember this. Don't ever let go of that. And don't ever, ever surrender your dreams. If you let go of your dreams, what else do you have? What else do you have to work for, work towards? What is the world that you want to bring in to creation, to reality? And once you find that one thing, you dedicate your life to it. It's a quote, and I'll finish with this. There's a quote, there's a really, really powerful one that was shared with me at a moment when there was a lot of crisis in my life. And I'll leave you with this. The quote says, "I challenge you to find something that you'd really, really be willing to die for, and then live for it." Thank you all so much.
It is difficult to stand out academically in our schools. Therefore, it's an honor to recognize the following Latino role models who have received the highest GPA in their grade. Please hold your applause until the end.
Es difícil sobresalir académicamente en nuestras escuelas, así que es un honor nombrar a los siguientes estudiantes, quienes han recibido las mejores notas en sus grados. Por favor, no aplaudan hasta el final. From Mountain View High School, freshman, grado 9, Ángel Enríquez, Ariana De Vincenzi, Daniela González,
Elena Estrada, and Lawrence Cepeda. Sophomores, grado 10, Adriana Hardwick, Daniel Ballesteros, Esteban Leiva, Jessica Fernández y Roberto Villalpando.
Juniors, grado 11, Ana Gómez, Gabriel Quintela, Lawrence Salinero, Mónica Pelayo, Zoe Tatarsky. Seniors, grado 12, Melissa Gómez, Naomi Latanzi, Nicole Kliger, Reina Olmos y Viria Guzmán.
From Los Altos High School, freshman, grado 9, Saúl Eduardo Bernal, Perla Cristal Luna, María Guadalupe Muñoz, Ignacio Ceni y Rita Villanueva. Sophomore, grado 10, Guadalupe Adelina Perrospe, Rosa Isela Carrera, Sireni Menjivar, Oscar Ramírez y Laura Olimpia Yedra Ibarra.
Juniors, grado 11. María Fernanda Fernández, Liliana Medina, Ada Navarro, Pauline Guadalupe Ramírez, Glenda Carol Vargas. Seniors, grado 12. Salvador Chávez Jr., Reina G. Cortés Ramírez, Ricardo Sollucien García, Heidi Hernández Montes, y Raúl Eberto Ordóñez.
Our schools are competitive when it comes to sports, demanding the best from our students, despite...
One more time for this.